Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and we have gathered here again today, and we're going to take a trip to the end of the world, to a pyramid with Doctor Who, the pyramid at the end of the world. And we've got quite a few people here today, which is actually good to see. So let's start off let's go with Lee Wilson to see what he had to say about pyramid at the end of the world. Just opening thoughts, Lee. And I'd like to remind you, Lee is from Hull. So just bear that in mind.
Yes, and I didn't like last week's episode as well.
That's what I picked on. I picked on you first last week, and I've done it again this week. I thought we'll get the negative stuff out of the way, and then me and Connor can, talk positive.
For me, it was an improvement from last week. It was a sort of a straightforward story. The monks were back, of course. Well acted. Capaldi he's on top form. Every week he is on top form. As I say, I wasn't keen on the first part last week, but the second part, it did up its game for me. The only gripe with it was there was slightly a bit too much talking to begin with, but that sort of did die off by the end of it. So I enjoyed it more than last week. So, and that's my opening thoughts for now.
And let's go on to Susie. Let's jump straight to Susie. What were your opening thoughts on this episode, Susie?
Okay, had to unmute myself. Well, like we said, it was better than last week. And it was a good episode. It's just, I think it's hard because it's the middle of a three-parter. So I think next week should be the payoff. It was better. There were some things I didn't quite understand. Like, I know Pearl is the Doctor's companion, but when they asked her if she would, I don't know, acquiesce or whatever, and the Doctor screaming through the phone, no, don't do it. I don't give my permission. They still took it on her, even though he withdrew his authority. So that kind of bugged me. I also don't understand why the monks, or how the monks, have the power to restore his eyesight. But she did save the Doctor's life, and she got him out of there, and his sight is back. So it was good. It's not something, it wasn't fabulous, it wasn't horrible, it was just part two.
Yep. And let's jump on over to Alex and Susan to see what they thought about this second part.
Go ahead. I liked it a lot better. As I've mentioned before, I also did appreciate that there wasn't as much special effects and jump cuts and jump scares and all that. They kept that down to a minimum. I also enjoyed more straightforward of the story, and I also enjoyed the fact that it seemed like a lot of people weren't convinced by the Doctor, which they don't show that in every single story either.
And I enjoyed the story with the monks. I thought the monks were great. I was amazed at all the people that the monks killed before they got to the point where they were, in charge of everything. And I loved the fact that it wasn't just, to use Susie's word, acquiesce. It wasn't just acquiesce. It had to be in love or something. And my question is love slavery? I mean, does that compute? I don't know. So that's my first take on this.
Yeah, I thought that was a great line that the Doctor said, that love is slavery. I thought that was actually a really good line. Let's go to Germany with Beef Dad. What's your opening thoughts on this episode, Beef Dad?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought Matt Lucas actually had a bit more acting to do in this one, and he did it extremely well. I loved the fact that Bill's date got interrupted again, but this time not by the Pope, but by the Secretary General of the United Nations. which amused me. I must admit that I did chuckle for quite a long time on that. I would like to have seen more of the interior of the pyramid. I would really have liked to have seen more of that.
Budget.
It looks incredibly like the Pyramid of Cheops rather than Kefren, because this one doesn't have a point to it. The top is like that, which is the way Cheops is. Yeah, there was some lovely performances, some great acting. But one thing that has really got to me is the costuming of the monks. The red.
Why is that?
And then I think I saw the red, and it's the same colour red that they use for the sisters. And I'm wondering if there's any kind of connection there. To be perfectly honest, it's just the colouring of it, the
Good point.
design of it has really set my brain going.
Mind you, red is used quite a lot. It's quite a
Yeah,
common
the
colour.
thing that also upset me is Penny, uncredited again. Ronke Adekuluejo. I think she's brilliant. I think she's lovely. I really like her. And yeah, but she was uncredited again. The Chinese girl, Xiao Liang, Daphne Chung played that. Superb. The American colonel, well, he's like every bad American colonel that they've ever done in Doctor Who. They're always unconvincing. And of course the Russian, who barely said anything, just nodded his head and agreed. And
It's probably best with the Russians.
yeah, but yeah, the TARDIS crew, I thought, did brilliantly. Peter Capaldi doing the blind thing is just incredible. He does it so superbly. And that's it.
And let's land back in the UK and let's go to a face we don't normally see on these casts, which is a shame. Let's go to Craig. It's good to have you back on, Craig. You thought I was going to go to you, didn't you, Connor?
Thanks, Salad. I totally agree with Beefstad about Pearl and her, the whole, the ideas of her relationships and insecurities and stuff. I think that they've really touched upon it really, really well, and it's funny, and it was almost, you can really get in touch with that character, which you don't normally see, because it's normally based on the Doctor trying to discover a character, or he's in love with the assistant, or it's just nice. It's just something different. It's quite refreshing. I love Capaldi. I love how he reminds me of John Pertwee. His whole look, and the sonic shades are back. I've always liked them, and now he's putting them to good use again. So the story, I think Moffat, he what's that word? He resolved himself, because I wasn't really keen on the first episode, because it didn't really make much sense. But
do you mean redeemed?
That's it, yeah. And
oh dear, Craig. I
know. The monks were cool. I liked how there was like a show of power of what was going to happen, where they just captured the plane and the submarine. It was just nicely done, and I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Have you enjoyed the rest of the series so far?
I've loved the series all so far. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously you haven't been on many casts, have you, recently? So you've enjoyed the rest of the episodes so far, yeah?
Really enjoyed season.
And let's head back on the plane and go abroad. Let's go to Kevin. Go ahead, Kevin. Put you out there, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
You've always got to be on your guard.
Of course. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. Really like the soldiers and the talking. Yeah, there was a lot of talking in this episode, but it was a bridge episode, part 2. So yeah, part 3 is the payoff, like we saw in the next time trailer. And yeah, the Doctor got his sight back because love was consent. So now Pro has given away the world, probably, but
yeah.
Well, yeah, he got his eyesight back. So, yeah, and the monks were very creepy again with their voices and just catching a submarine and a plane. So, yeah, that was very interesting. And yeah, the colonels of China, Russia, America were, yeah, of course, dead at the end of the episode, but yeah, the date of Pro Mackie got interrupted, Bill Potts. So that was funny. So yeah, I really liked it.
That's good. And back with no popular demand, absolutely none. It's Connor from Leeds.
Hello. I want whatever medication the writers, directors, and the whole team of Doctor Who are taking this year, because I don't know.
Oh no, you've got to stick to your usual medication.
Yeah, but I want that stuff, because I don't know what's possessed Doctor Who to be so good recently. It's absolutely insanely amazing. Every week you're just leaving with a smile on your face, and you never really get that sort of thrill recently with Doctor Who. It's this week. Pyramid at the End of the World is continuing on that trend. Another fantastic story. Peter Harness and Stephen Moffat written. The monks are one of the best monsters in recent times. They're not really that monstrous though. Like, apart from killing a few people, they're not. I wouldn't call them evil, in a sense that they just want to protect. They have an agenda to protect our world from whatever, from the future, from us probably destroying ourselves or whatever. We'll find out next week what's going on with that. But Bill is absolutely exceptional. She's the assistant that we've wanted for 5 years, I'd say, since Donna maybe. She just every week she just blows out the park, and again she's done it this week. I like it when Doctor Who gets slightly political. It did this week, sort of did last week, and it did with Oxygen as well. The whole idea of World War III and world domination and the odd Donald Trump reference. That was greatly amusing. I can't rate it as a story because it's like, as everyone has said, it's the second part in a 3-parter. So I'd have to see how next week ends. Although I don't see from the next time trailer how next week can possibly be bad. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, as a middle part, this didn't disappoint at all.
Well, I'm absolutely with Connor. I'm just loving this series. I look forward to every single week now. I mean, my dad rings me straight afterwards. He's in love with Doctor Who again completely. I mean, I didn't like the Matt Smith era, as people know. Series 8 and 9 have been okay, but Series 10 is just blowing out the park for me. And if it keeps up like this, it very well could be my favourite series of Doctor Who. And that is amazing to say because I absolutely love Series 4, especially with Donna. But to this episode, I thought it was very good. I thought the monks were used better, actually, in this episode. I thought the monks were more menacing, probably because this was the threat. Last week was just the the build up to the threat. They didn't really do much, did they? It was just all a simulation. But now with this episode, the monks were not attacking, but I love the idea that you will surrender the earth. You will surrender it. And they wanted to be loved as well, which I thought was it was just a really creepy way of having an invasion story. Like, it wasn't they were killing the people. Well, they did kill, obviously, the army people and that, but they didn't kill anybody else, you know what I mean? And they let those people in the plane go free as well. They let those people, I thought they were definitely going to kill those people on the plane, but you just see them walk out. The pyramid, I'm with Beef Dad. I would have liked to have seen more of the interior of the pyramid, because I just love ancient Egypt and things like that. It reminded me of which I'm surprised Susan hasn't mentioned. Susan, you're slacking a bit. It reminded me of a Stargate. I couldn't get out then. It reminded me of Stargate with the pyramid. I just love that. So you really just realised that, haven't you, Susan? So, yeah, I really liked it. I really, really, really did. I look forward to Doctor Who every single week now. So let's go into, does anybody have any favourite moments during this? Does anybody have any favourite moments?
One of the magic moments for me, was the moment where Pearl Mackie basically refused to do what the Doctor asked and did what she thought was right. And it's a long time since a companion did that. It's a long time since a companion actually did that. And the other one I liked was Erica, the little lady that played the scientist. And she was just brilliant. Her reactions were superb. And she worked so well with the Doctor. I thought to myself, I wonder if we're going to get an extra companion. No.
Well, he did say that, didn't he? Did hint towards that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And yeah, I was rather hoping, I had my fingers crossed, that she might turn up again. Yeah, those were my favourite bits.
Yeah, she was a standout character for me in this, actually.
Yeah.
One of the extras. She was a standout character. Anybody else favourite moments? I have to say Nardole was very good in this as well. Before I forget, I thought actually this was probably Nardole's best episode. Actually,
I'd argue probably Oxygen was for me, but he's been sensational as well this year. I didn't actually know that Matt Lucas could act like that, but he's just completely took me by surprise as well.
Yeah, go on.
I liked him in Mysterio, but this year he's just found a new edge. He's mainly been there to guard the vault, which I'm actually glad we didn't get much of this week, because we know it's missing now, but we've been used to cutting to the vault like close to the end of the episode, or with Extremis we did it throughout the episode intermittently. He's really turning into a useful companion, as is Bill. And when the Doctor being blind did sort of, I'm glad that they've resolved it now and they didn't wait until next week, which was what everyone was thinking was going to happen because of the regeneration thing. But that was getting slightly annoying, although it was giving Peter Capaldi an extra edge, because we've never seen the Doctor blind before. And it's given the 12th Doctor a challenge that we'll probably never see again, because I can't see them doing something like that again with a deficiency like blindness or deafness, because it felt like a bit of a gamble doing it in Oxygen, and then Stephen Moffat wanted to extend it to future episodes as well.
Well, they did do something similar with David Tennant when the Master aged him into that little creature that was stuck in the
Golem, yeah.
Yeah, it's really given. I'm liking how Peter Capaldi's been challenged this year to act as the Doctor again with the blindness. But yeah, Nardole has been a worthy assistant as well. Matt Lucas is insanely good.
Anybody else favourite moments? Anybody want to jump in, Susie? Favourite moments?
I have a question.
Yep.
Oh,
go on.
wait a minute. There you are. I'm sorry, I flipped the wrong button. I'm not sure I understand what happened to Nardole. Was Nardole infected with the virus and now he's lying down in the TARDIS?
Yeah, because he breathed it in. He breathed the toxic air in. He didn't have a suit on, did he? He didn't have...
Oh. So now he's in the TARDIS and the virus is also in the TARDIS.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, we'll find out, won't we, in the next part?
Right, and he's lying there unconscious, so the virus is floating around the TARDIS, so they're going to have to deal with that. This is going to require a little more than extractor fans.
Well, I mean, this is the other part. Sorry, guys. This is the other reason for the third episode is see how the Doctor resolves it. If it's a ploy, if the Missy owes him one and gets him out of a scrape, or if they're actually working together and only the Doctor and Missy Master knows. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of ploys. I want to see what they write to try to resolve most of it. They probably won't resolve all of it.
How many episodes are there in this season?
There's 12 episodes, isn't there? It's 12 episodes, not including the Christmas one.
What is this one? What number?
7.
Was it 6 or 7?
7. 6, was it? 7, yeah, 7, yeah.
Yeah.
7.
I just wondered
It's entirely possible.
Up.
It's entirely possible there's some kind of bacterial infiltration system in the TARDIS because of the amount of different worlds it goes on to, and that it would filter out any dodgy bacteria.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, that sort of, I would imagine that would be a built-in safety measure on the TARDIS.
Good.
I have to say, I thought the effects, once again, were very good, the effects. How they disintegrated, how that man turned into green goo, whatever it was, that green slush. So very good effects, I have to say.
And the fire in the lab was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was done brilliantly.
No, all the episodes so far this series have looked amazing. I can't understand.
Yeah, actually, that's one thing that it doesn't seem like there's any sort of budget constraint. Every week just looks. I don't know whether it's because they've managed their money a bit better, but this week looked fabulous with the explosion, which was quite shocking because it can look a bit cheap at times, but that looked brilliant. It looked like a Hollywood movie sort of explosion.
I mean, has Moffat broken into the BBC money vault or something?
I think he has, because I haven't heard of any more money being given to Doctor Who personally.
No, I haven't.
I don't think any more money really to be thrown about because of the BBC have been constrained to certain things, etc. So I'm really happy with how it's looking, and it seems like that's going to continue throughout the whole series, especially in the finale. So yeah, I think the aesthetics of the series right now are on absolute top form.
Maybe they thought very early on when Class was being made, let's pump all the money for a possible series to a Class into Doctor Who Series 10.
Or just pay a better writer to write a spin-off, I suppose.
So anybody else want to jump in for favourite moments? Craig, you've been rather quiet recently.
I like the opening sequence. Like, I got goosebumps from that, and it is true. Like, this season is like my family want to watch it with me, so it's really nice to have that experience back. Because from the last couple of seasons, like, no one really wanted to watch it with me. So
I feel so. Right. Doctor Who. I just feel Doctor Who is definitely back on form. What about you, Kevin? Any favourite moments, standout parts?
Well, it Pearl really reminds me of Martha in some ways.
Especially in the next time trailer.
Yeah.
Yes, we will go on to that. We'll go on to that in a minute.
So, I was really reminded. Well, the interrupted date with Bill and yeah. So yeah, and the pyramid part.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
What about Lee Wilson in Hull, over there in Hull? You've got the big weekender, haven't you? Or something there, haven't you? No.
I've got what?
The big weekender.
Oh, the Radio 1 thing, yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, I haven't got any favourite part. It was enjoyable from beginning to end. But I'll mostly start this off now, shall I? I'm rather worried that the next part, they're going to use the reset button again.
We've talked about this quite a lot, what's going to happen in the next episode. So let's go for some theories.
Because as Kevin said, Bill reminds him of Martha, and if you watch the 3 episodes, it is a sort of a parallel version of Utopia, Sound of Drums, and is it Last of the Time Lords?
Yeah.
It's a very similar story to that. I mean, now they've got a different future because of the monks in the next week's episode. As you said, Alex, earlier today, the only way they can change it is reset it again. And I hope they don't, because they're reusing that reset button so many times, it's just become ridiculous.
Well, like that Master 3-parter at the end of Series 3, the last episode, was it a year ahead? A year
something
on?
Like that. Yeah,
and
something
this
like that,
episode is kind of like that. Is it 6 months on, this episode, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
So they're probably just gonna press the reset button, to be honest.
Yeah, do you reckon,
but we'll have to see.
do you reckon we'll get a partial regeneration like you did with David Tennant?
No, I've got a theory on that.
I have a fear.
Go on with your theory. Tell us your theory.
But no, the one thing I wanted to say was, I mean, everybody used to criticise Moffat's writing, but the cleverness, and this is what Marcus pointed out to me, the cleverness of the Doctor turns around to anybody that's there observing and says, well, tell me what you see.
Yes.
Yeah, as in, tell me what you see. And that way he gets the descriptions. But, yeah, I'm just wondering, because, I mean, you had a partial regeneration with David Tennant's Doctor, with the 10th Doctor, where he sort of went into regeneration but came back as himself.
Yeah, because of the hand, yeah.
I'm wondering, are they planning on doing something like similar again? Because, it's looking to me as if it's going to get to the point where the Doctor is, particularly with what we saw with the next week.
When she shoots him, yeah.
I don't.
With Pearl Mackie shooting him, are they going to do a similar sort of thing?
I don't think they're gonna reset like that. I don't think that they're gonna do a partial regeneration. I think
it's going to be a full regeneration.
Yeah, but I think that that's going to be at the end. I really think that my favorite part of this was when they kind of confronted Bill and she had to make a decision, and she went for she'd become enough of a companion of the Doctor's so that she would protect him, knowing that he is what's best for everybody. I think that whatever's best for the Doctor will happen, and he will be able to ride it out, whatever it is. But I do like the fact that he was differently able for a while, and that made it sort of a richer tapestry. Like the Doctor can be a failed person, and he can be a frail person too.
Mm.
Not just a superhero. Anyway,
Well,
I really enjoyed that. That was different.
there was an article in the Radio Times which I shared with Alid today, which an actor's name was mentioned, wasn't there, Alid?
Yeah.
Which apparently he may be appearing in next week in the regeneration scene. But I'm hoping if they do use the reset button, they reset it back to Capaldi the next episode. I hope they do it that way, because if it's this actor what they've named in the Radio Times, I'm not looking forward to it.
I can't see how they can get out of this one without pressing the reset button, because that was the only conclusion to the Master three-parter, was just the year that never was. I don't see how they can get out of it without pressing the reset button. So,
but are you looking forward, if this is true what it's said in the Radio Times, would you be looking forward to Capaldi changing into that actor next episode?
No.
Who's
Not
the
that
actor?
actor, no.
What actor?
Definitely not.
Are you talking about Chris Marshall?
Yeah, Chris Marshall, yeah. If that is true, then no. It's too safe.
He's
It's
an
too...
awful choice, yeah.
I think Chris Marshall would work, but
But it's so uninspired.
Yeah, he's bland, I think.
he was wonderfully eccentric in My Family.
Oh, yeah, no, I liked him in My Family, don't get me wrong, but, playing Nick, but I don't think he's
I think if he brought that eccentricity to the Doctor,
What, like Nick?
yeah, it would be quite magical. Eccentricity plus knowledge will give us a wonderfully eccentric Doctor. I mean, the thing is, you've got to remember that Patrick Troughton's Doctor, the second Doctor, was wildly eccentric. I mean, he'd sit there at an incredibly tense moment and play the recorder. I can imagine that sort of thing coming through with a Chris Marshall Doctor.
But I would rather, if it's going to be somebody next week, if we see the new Doctor next week, I hope it's someone surprising, like somebody we haven't heard of.
Doris Day?
Whoever, yeah.
Why do we see the Doctor next week?
Or the woman from the lab.
Exactly.
Yeah. You mean Erica? Little Erica, yeah. Yeah, you never know.
I don't know if we would see the new Doctor next week.
So anybody else have any more speculations on what's going to happen in the final part of the story, Connor?
I think in terms of the regeneration, he takes a hit, he aborts it, then we think he's fine, but it comes up again and he's not. Because I think, actually, one thing I have noticed with Peter this year is I think it's intentional, and I'm not sure whether it's him or whether it's the character he's playing, but he's playing the Doctor as if he's a bit more worn out. I think as if he's aged a lot more, as if he's more tired. And I think that's why the blindness thing has affected him a lot more. There's an edge of like age and tiredness to him that I think David Tennant sort of did that as well. And I think like he's just taking everything, all the pressure on him, all the hits, all the
he's getting wounded. You mean he's a wounded soldier?
Yeah, he's like a wounded soldier. We know he's leaving, so maybe it's just the perception of that. We just know he's leaving, but
they did that with the first Doctor.
Yeah, and that ties in with what we hear at Christmas as well.
Yeah,
I don't know whether you've heard, but
I think he's just getting wounded a lot more this year, and I think that's good. I think that's taking its toll, and I think that's why when he gets shot next week by Bill, he's going to look at him because he's going to abort the regeneration. But it's not gonna end it. It's gonna be there, and it's eventually gonna kill his iteration of the Doctor. At Christmas.
I think it'll only be a partial regeneration, though.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, any theories on next week?
Well, he gets shot by Bill. I don't know. Probably it's not a full regeneration. Maybe like tenant regeneration, but we have to wait to see.
What if Missy helps him? You know, what if the Doctor dies and then Missy gives her regenerations to him, and that's how Michelle Gomez leaves? Because Missy says, Missy does say in the trailer that to get rid of the monks, you have to kill the person who brought them. So what if she has to really kill the Doctor, and then Missy brings him back?
No, Bill's the person that brought the monks.
Well, maybe Bill dies.
I'm confused by her this year because we've only seen her for like 10, 15 minutes, but Michelle Gomez is playing it with. She's not that crazy. So whether she's playing a game with the Doctor, and next week
well, to be fair, she's locked up. She can't really do much, can she?
And from the next time trailer, she seems to be advising someone on what to do. So she is taking like the alien role, the Doctor role, as the one that advises whatever happens that ends the whole thing, rather than the Doctor. I don't. She's just playing it completely different than she has been the last two.
Delgado used to do that, Connor. Don't you remember?
Yeah, but
Delgado used to advise and control and manipulate and
who knows? We might see him back.
That would be.
There's also what you've got to remember. Next week's episode is called "The Lie of the Land." L-I-E, lie. So
yes, we get it. We can spell it. Don't worry.
if it turns out that all these 3 episodes has been a simulation, I'll be rather annoyed.
Well, I'm going to get onto my theory in a moment, but let's just go to Craig first because Craig hasn't had his chance of. Have you got a theory, Craig? What's going to happen?
It was all one big dream.
No, don't wind. No, come on. You know you're winding me.
Have a shower.
So if no one's got any more theories, I'm going to go on to mine.
You want to do it?
So what I think is going to happen about the Doctor's regeneration. Bill shoots the Doctor starts to regenerate, but doesn't regenerate. The reason being is because the Doctor Bill shoots is the simulated Doctor. He's not the real Doctor. Turns out he's the simulated Doctor, the one that she shoots. There you go.
So just like when River Song shot
exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, just like River Song shot the test selector, is it, on the beach?
Yep.
That is what's going to happen. Bill is going to shoot the fake Doctor, not the real one.
Wow, now that is a good theory.
Wow.
And then that tricks everybody into thinking Peter's leaving in this episode. So no, you're not going to see the next Doctor.
So
because
how
the simulation would just disappear after the regeneration. Start to regenerate and evaporate. And then the monks will disappear because they think the Doctor's dead.
Unless you get a flicker of him.
No, because because the simulation won't know what's next. The simulation isn't that clever.
So this is stolen really from way years ago from the Pirate Planet with the simulated Doctor with the pirate captain.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good.
Oh, I haven't thought of that. Yeah, you just reminded me of that. Yeah, I haven't watched that in years.
No, you have to recycle some ideas.
all ideas are stolen in this.
And then that ties in the simulated doctor that we saw in the first part in the simulated world, that doctor comes back, the simulated doctor.
Mm.
My head hurts.
There you go.
Or is that Doctor John Sim in disguise?
Oh, I've discussed that with my brother already. I'm not gonna go down that route.
That is one person.
No, that is just going all.
I think he'll be in next week, though.
Oh no, John Sim, I'm pretty sure is going to be in next week. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure about that. Yeah.
Is that in the cast list that's upcoming?
No. That's just speculation. Just
okay.
But think he's going to be in it. Makes sense. I mean,
we haven't got many episodes to go, so he's going to have to be in some of them.
Yeah, and you got to remember, this is a perfect set of episodes to introduce him, because this is a big three-parter. When's the last time we had a big three-parter?
Ages.
So
when
again,
he was in the show, still.
Yeah, when Sim was in the show, yeah, exactly. So let's go to final say and score. So let's start off with Kevin. What's your final say and score, Kevin?
Well, I really liked it and enjoyed it. Can't wait for next week. So yeah, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10.
And let's go to Susie. Are you there, Susie? Calling Susie.
I'm here.
Final say and score.
7.5 or an 8. It was a good episode. It just wasn't fabulous, and it'll set up whatever's happening next week, and I think that was its purpose.
Yeah, and let's jump over to Alex and Susan for final say and score.
I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. It was rich, and I did not miss the bit of the Stargate theory, like the fact that it could have been a hot talk that just landed. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, good job, Aled.
Yeah, I liked it a lot better than the week before. It was just too many jump cuts and special effects and all that. I understand they have to do that for a sci-fi show, but I want Doctor Who. As I said, it's interesting to see the wordplay of the monks and whether they're the real bad guy or whether somebody else is setting them up. And then we forget about the group with the spears and all that was supposed to help the Doctor kill the missing master or whatever. So hopefully the third episode will resolve most of it. Moffat doesn't resolve all of it. And we'll see what ploys and plans he has. And, if they can come up with a good rattling yarn, it'll be good. As far as this episode, I give it a 9. Just for the fact that it was a little more simple.
And before he falls to sleep, let's go to Craig, because he's dozing off there. Wakey, final thoughts and score.
Enjoyed this one really well. My only disappointment is that in the pyramid, Sutek wasn't inside it. But I would give this an 8 out of 10.
And let's go to Germany with Beef Dad.
The performances are what made this week's episode so good. The performances were superb. The writing was a lot better. Yeah, even the smaller performances, like the scientist with the hangover, he was good, and as I say, Erica, played by Rachel Denning, they were brilliant. Yeah, for me, I think I've got to go with the 9. I've got to go with a 9 because of the performances and the improvement in the writing.
And I have to say about Erica as well, really the downfall started when something simple happened as her breaking her glasses. And then the drunken scientist would have never it would have never happened, would it? If her glasses, something as simple as that, wouldn't have happened, this wouldn't be happening. Things happen like that, don't they? Small things lead to other small things and bigger things and stuff like that. Let's go to Leeds, yes. And if you've been to Leeds, remember you can get a refund. So go on the train website. And let's go to Connor.
Leeds isn't that bad. This gets a 7.5. Not as good as Extremis. I liked how confusing Extremis was. This was more straightforward, but it was a good middle part. Usually two-parters never really have two good parts. I will call it a two-parter so far because we haven't seen the third part. But to have 2 episodes in a row that are connected, that are great, seems like a blue moon sort of wish at the moment. So I'm happy that this one's held up as well as it has.
You see, you're not going to give it a score, are you? What would you give it a score if I said you had to?
I said 7.5.
Oh, 7.5. Oh, yeah. That's not as high as I thought you'd go.
Well, I gave Extremis an 8. So.
Oh, you gave Extremis an 8. Oh, that's a good score. Yeah. All right. And let's go to Hull. Yes, you can get a refund if you've been to Hull as well. Don't forget. Links will be below, by the way.
Yeah. I'll personally pay for it.
Yeah.
See, we still don't know who the monks are. There was no mention of the Veritas this week, the book.
That's
so that was complete. Well, it must have something to do with the story. The writing was better because Moffat had someone writing with him this week. And it was an improvement to last week for me. So I'm giving it a 7.
A 7? Oh, that's quite higher than last week. Did you give last week a 4?
No, I gave it a 3. I think I gave it
a 3. Yeah, I thought it was pretty low. Yeah, also you really like this a lot more. Yeah, for me, compared to last week, I think last week. I mean, I absolutely really enjoyed last week. But the problem is with last week is I did feel that the Missy scenes and the simulated scenes didn't quite match up. And I did notice, and I noticed that other reviewers have said that there was something a bit odd with the way it was edited. So that didn't help. But this week, I really enjoyed this week. I really did. It kind of makes last week's a little bit pointless, I guess. I guess you could have had this thought. You can watch this without watching last week's, I think. So last week's isn't, necessary to enjoy this. But like I say, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the acting. I enjoyed the writing. The effects were amazing. I just loved it. I'm going to give it. I gave last week's a 9. I'm going to give this week's a 9 because I've really enjoyed them both. I've really enjoyed all this series so far. So let's see how part 3 does, won't we? The third part of this, few episodes. And with that, I'd like to thank everybody here for joining me, apart from Connor, obviously. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, look after yourself, and also comment below what you thought of the pyramid at the end of the world. And I can see everybody's waving absolutely dramatically. Go on, everybody, wave, and we'll see you next time. Get a bit carried away now. Cut.